everybody, it's Cody, Dixon RC here. So today we're going to unbox the new Redcat Everest Ascent. I got the one for myself, the red one-piece body. Really had a hard time to figuring out which one I wanted to use. I pulled a blue one out of the box a couple weeks ago at an event to let somebody look at. I really liked the way it looked as well, but you know, I was like, I like the red. The red kind of looks like, you know, I had a guy tell me at the event that it looked kind of like an old a Datsun pickup truck in the front end, kind of, sort of. So it does kind of, now that that's been said, it really does kind of look like that. I really do enjoy the look of this thing. So if you don't know what this is, which is, it'd be crazy if you don't know what this is if you're into the rock crawling stuff. Everybody's already talked about it. I'm really late to the party. I got my first shipment of these 2.5 weeks ago. Had an event the next weekend in Alabama, sold all of them, and then didn't get any more until this past week. So I haven't had time to film anything about these as far as what they do and how well they are, and you know, anything at all. I bought one in that first batch for myself, but wound up selling it because, you know, that's the way it goes. It had never been opened, so I could sell it. So, you know, whatever, no big deal. If you don't know anything about this truck, it is Redcat's newest crawler. They consider it a competition style crawler. It is a comp style crawler because it has a flat chassis, not a C-channel chassis rails. They are 3mm steel instead of, they should have went carbon, but you know, whatever, it is what it is. I'm sure carbon ones are coming from somebody. It has underdrive for the rear, which makes the overdrive for the front, and you can do 10 or 20% gears are included inside of the box. Supposedly it's easily changeable. All you gotta do is take the transfer case top part off and then change the gears and put it back together, kind of deal like that. It is a forward motor, so the motor is in the front of the chassis rails, kind of like you see on like a lot of real competition chassis type deals. They put, you know, you want to get all the weight to the front that you can, kind of deal. This does have the Gen 9 portal axles under it. Portals, yeah, whatever, you know, no big deal. It does have a drop bed in it. I mean, it's not a full drop bed like you see in a lot of full scale builds, but it is a decently sized drop bed for a plastic Lexan body. It does come with a ESC, which is a new 1060 style ESC that has 7.4 volts, a 5 amp BEC from the get-go. That's pretty cool. That's new, but the only downside is that I hear that it doesn't really have a very good drag brake, which sucks because it should have a drag brake. It's a crawler, you know, whatever, but that's how it goes. So it does have mini T style springs, which of course seems like everybody's going to that route with their shocks anyway. Welcome to the party. Thanks for coming. So you can get this truck in two different ways as you see it on the body. There's a blue one and then a red one. The blue one is a two-piece body. You can remove the bed, and it is also pinched in the front and the back as well. The one-piece body has just a one-piece body. It's red, so not bad there. That's really about all I really have to talk about. There's not much else to talk about. So let's take this thing out of the box, and then we'll look at it, and then we'll see what we want to do. So it says it has, it's on the front, it says 3 selectable drag brake modes. Well, we'll try that out. We'll see if we can figure out how to make it actually have a drag brake, because right now, as far as I know, it does not have one. It is waterproof. It does have the newest servo, their little 35 kilogram torque spec servo. Supposedly it's 42 kilograms at 8.4 volts, but you have to have a different ESC to do that. So it's supposed to be metal. You get a metal servo horn. It's hard gears inside of it, it says, things like that. So that's the one they've been putting in a lot of new things anyway, and it's a pretty decent servo, so not too bad. Let's take this thing out the box. I also like how on the front of the box it says water-resistant electronics. It doesn't say waterproof anymore. I guess everybody's been kind of getting the end deal of that one, because not everything is truly waterproof anymore. Mine only had one zip tie holding the one wheel on. All right, so red one out of the box. Looks okay. Got a very deep body. That is a very big door. this off here. Glad they didn't go with that crazy sticky stuff that Element uses. Doesn't matter, it comes right off, it's not a big deal. But also another good feature of this truck is it has 2 body pins in the back in the bed. You can't really see them because this, like I say, this is a decently sized drop bed. Kind of bravo for doing that, Redcat. Nobody else really is doing that. It does have a hinge system. So what I mean by that is you'll take these pins out and you can lift it this way. Now granted, oh, it goes all the way. It doesn't hold it, which is a problem, but it will allow you to be able to get in here and tinker really quickly if you need to. And I think it comes off, yeah, like that. So let's show you. It's got a little hook in here that is bolted to the body. You can't even see where, but it's bolted into that. Man, they should have put light buckets in this. It would have been cool. But anyway, so that right there snaps on to this little bumper piece here. Snaps on and then folds over. That's what helps it fold. So let's look at the body first. So like I said, it does have a drop bed. And that is a pretty decently sized drop bed. I don't know exactly how much. Let's see how much of a drop bed it actually is. So this is just an eyeball, about 40 millimeters drop, which is pretty good. That's not bad at all. It's just a basic body. I mean, you get flares. Of course, those are going to go. Those are going to be the first thing to cut off this thing. I wish it had some sort of light buckets in it, which, I mean, not hard to make happen, but I mean, it would have been cool if it had like some rear ones and then front ones, but also on the other side of that, that is not a very competition style deal. So lights are not important for a comp crawler. So, you know, cool. Just basic. They do have clear windows, which is cool. They're tinted. It does have like a little box in the back that looks like a box, but that's the reason why that is there because that's where the battery goes. So let's look at the remote. So this is Redcat's new 4-channel remote. This is the remote that's actually in the custom hauler as well. So whenever you add the servos to lay it flat, you just like press the button and then it'll slam it. So you get channel 3 as a button. Channel 4, I don't know where channel 4 is. Oh, channel 4 is a switch. It's an on-off switch or a 3-position switch. It does actually have a button for LED. It has an LED light in the front. That's pretty cool. So one thing that this remote has that a lot of factory remotes don't have without digging really hard into them is it has endpoint adjustment. So you have a button right here at the bottom that says steering EPA. So what you do is you'll hold the remote whichever way you want to steer, and then you'll press the button and it will change your EPA, your endpoints. Pretty cool. I mean, you know, it'll be a while before we know how great this thing is, but I mean, I've got a couple in stock and they're like $37. I mean, realistically, for a remote that should work pretty well, it's not a bad deal for a 4-channel. Also, takes 4 LEDs. It takes 4 AA's, which is the norm for nowadays. If there's one that takes more than that, then you don't need to use it anyway. It also has a little spot to put screws. I don't think you can put too much of anything else in there. I don't think it's big enough to fit any tools, but I wonder how far that will fit. It won't go in very far. Nope, so no tools, but you can put some screws, body pins, things like that inside of here. That's pretty cool. Way to think outside the box, Redcat, on that. That's pretty neat. So pretty cool. All right, so I threw some batteries in there real quick. So let's turn it on. Of course, nothing's gonna work because the truck's not on, but I wanted to show you the LED at the front. So you press the button and the LED light comes on. I don't know how bright that's gonna be for, you know, doing anything in specific, but you know, pretty cool. It's a pretty neat little idea. I'm glad they did that. That's a different idea as far as how, you know, you get stuff out of the box, things like that. So let's look at the truck. Now, the new things that I know on this truck besides any of the other trucks, of course, everything but the axles. I mean, of course. The links are a new style link. They are a straight link in the back. Straight, you know, there's no high clearance. The front is a straight one as well, but it has these, like, looks like high clearance, but they go outwards instead of, you know, up. They go outwards, and that is done because of the way the motor sits in here and the way the drive shaft is in here. If you go to putting these upwards, meaning the bend in them would point towards the top of the truck, they're going to hit the motor and they're going to hit the drive shaft. Don't recommend doing that. I'm sure somebody's going to come out with something sometime soon to make that better. We shall see. The other thing, of course, it has a transfer case here. The motor's here with 32 pitch gears, which is cool. I'm glad they did that. That means these, it does still have a slipper, so it should be easy to get, gears and things like that. Hexfly ESCs in the front, and then you got your Hexfly servo, and then of course a 42 turn 550 motor. This is a very, very large turn. It means this thing's probably slow as can be. But, easily changeable. You can put a fusion in it or something along the lines of that. Of course, you get wheels and tires. These tires are pretty decent from what I understand, from what everybody says. Wheels cannot be baked off and cannot be acetoned off. You probably can boil them off, but I don't recommend doing any of those because apparently this plastic that these are made out of is very, very pliable and will just melt. I've seen pictures of the acetone bath ones, they just melt away. And I've seen pictures of the trying to use heat. If you even use a heat gun to try and get it off, it just melts them. So don't recommend doing that. I actually have some in stock. They're only $15 a pair, and they come with a different foam than what's in them stock. So just do that if you want to keep these tires. I mean, not everybody keeps stock tires. I understand the reason why you don't want to do that. You get nice basic bumpers, front and rear. These both look identical as far as the bumper itself goes. I think the rear one's a little bit wider, but it looks to be the same style. They both say written, I think they're the same. So you get pin style shocks. I think these are just revamped Gen 8, Gen 9 shocks, and they redid the bottom cap to be able to put a spring. There is also a spring inside of them as well, because these are that's pretty hard. So is the rear. They need to be loosened up quite a bit. I mean, that's still not bad, but that ain't enough. But, and of course you get the, front motor, the setup here. It bolts in on the outside of the rails to a bracket here. Then you get two side plates, which look like they don't really have much going on with them. They're kind of small, which is fine. It's got these things back here in the back. I don't really know what those are for. I wonder if that's for the two-piece body and, like where it snaps together. Maybe there's a spot right here for the cab to go over. Maybe, I don't know. Then you've got this big battery tray, which I think is adjustable. Yes, you can. So when you look at this battery tray, you see it's all the way out here, but there is two screws here, and you move it inside to this spot here. Then you can put a shorty pack on it, which is good because that's what you want. But theoretically, you need to put that up here somehow, some way. It needs to have a battery up here as well as you can. I don't really know exactly how that's going to go, but a lot of people have been cutting their bodies and getting them as low as possible, that kind of deal. We'll see how to make that happen. I don't really know exactly how I'm going to do that yet, but not bad. I mean, I really do think they're trying. This is one of the companies, Redcat and Element are about the two companies out that listen to what people want. They've watched how people have been doing this. I'm assuming this is a very loosely based UGRC Predator chassis. I would imagine it's probably pretty close to that. I don't know for sure. I haven't. I've never had one. I did meet the guy, but I don't really know anything about it. So I'm pretty sure this is based off of that or close to it. And, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what they got to do. You got to figure out how to do something different, and this is definitely different than the others. I'm glad they finally went away from the big body trail rigs. I mean, those are great. They work really well, but I mean, to have something a little bit different is pretty cool. They do have portals on it, which is, it is what it is. But I'm sure, I know all the companies are making some brass things for these because this, not a lot of brass stuff come out for the Gen 9. So it's cool that it's happening for this. It still does have a flat skid. That's good to know. I mean, of course, I figured it had a flat skid. They've all had flat skids for the most part. This is a very Gen 7 based looking skid, so keep that in mind. I don't know. I mean, I think it's, is it good? I don't know. We'll see. We got to go drive it. I'm going to keep it stock for the first drive for sure. I'm going to change the plug to an XT60 because that's the only thing I'll run anyway. That's the only thing I'm going to do. Maybe we'll get it turned on and we'll go through the book and try and figure out how to change the drag brake and see if we can get it to work. I've got a couple of RTI ramps that we can try, or we'll just go out on the rock pile and put it on get an incline rock done and then try and see if it'll hold. I don't really know if it's going to work. We'll see. We'll try and see if we can get it going. And if I can figure out how to get it going, I'll tell you guys how to do it. So hang tight. We're going to go drive it. I'm going to swap the plug and go over the book to make sure I know what I'm doing. Oh, we need to go through the book. Let's go through all this stuff that's in the manual stuff. Because I'm sure it looks like there's a bunch of stickers in here. I don't know what they're for, but pretty cool. Looks like it's got a thing about the ESC. It does. So this is pretty much how all Hobby Wing stuff looks. I'm assuming this is probably a Hobby Wing style ESC. It is a 1040. I was wrong. It's not a 1060. It's a 1040. So that's even worse. So here you get a set of body pins or body posts for the front, I'm assuming. I would assume they go in the front. And then, of course, you get overdrive and underdrive gears to replace the ones inside the transfer case. Then you get a bunch of stickers, of course, a bunch of Redcat stickers. Then looks like beadlock rings to go around the wheel, which you're not keeping those wheels, so whatever. A bunch of stickers with some numbers. You can put a racing plate on it, then your numbers, then like some side panels, and this is like fender flare pieces. No, we're not using those at all. Looks like it's got a bunch of different tracks. That's kind of weird. Pretty cool though. I mean, it is what it is. The book is 1 page, 2 pages. Really, this is all they put in here? So you don't get a real manual anymore, which sucks. I think you can probably take a picture of the QR code and see the real manual that has the exploded parts view and everything like that. I have looked that over. It is online, so you can look at that. But the ESC is set to LiPo from the factory, which is good to know. But everything else is pretty straightforward in this. I mean, it doesn't really tell you how to do anything. So how are you supposed to? Okay, so this is shit, to be honest with you. Not tired of these companies skipping out on their daggone manuals. People need manuals, manufacturers. Not everybody has a way to get online. Not everybody has a way to get your manual or online like that. Not everybody has that capability. You got to remember that. Most people do, but a lot of people don't. I mean, it'd be cool if you still had a paper manual. I get that a lot of people don't want a manual. I understand, and it's a waste. But man, I mean, really. All right, so hang tight. We're going to figure out everything. I'm going to get those plugs swapped over, and we're going to go drive this thing. I'm excited to drive it. I'm excited to drive. I never get to drive very much anymore, so I'm pretty excited about that. So hang tight. All right, so after first drive, first thing that needs to go is the ESC. It is horrible. Very twitchy, not a very good drag brake. You know, it says 3 selectable drag brake. That's not what actually it is. It's the forward brake reverse, then forward reverse, then forward brake. So like the racing mode, the other, you know, that kind of deal. That is not a true drag brake, and it does not work. You put it on an incline, it slopes, or it you know, it'll fall back. As you see, I got a bunch of scratches on it. This rock pile I got out here is not easy on these Lexan bodies at all, like none whatsoever. It's all big chunks of concrete and old brick and old concrete from when they built swimming pools, that kind of deal. So it's pretty tough on Lexan for sure. Needs some weight in it, some wheel, probably some weighted wheels would be the ticket, some brass in a couple of spots. For sure going to take the inside springs out of it and then fool around with mini T stuff, maybe put some extra sauce or some sauce on it. I don't really know exactly what I'm going to put in it just yet, but it for sure needs it. But on the other hand, it's a pretty good rig, man. It crawls up some things that I didn't think it should crawl without tweaking and things like that. I don't know what I'm going to put in electronics wise. I'm probably going to keep the servo in. I'm probably going to keep the stock radio. It's actually pretty good. It feels pretty good in my hands. We'll see how it works with the different ESC. I may put a 1080 in it. I might put a Fusion SE in it. Fusion SE seems like it'd be the better ticket as far as budget wise goes, because this is a budget truck. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do a budget build on this and keep it cheap, you know, $50 a week kind of deal, and figure out where we can go. Put some cheap wheels on it. I'll try and figure out maybe a way to get these tires off. I don't think there's going to be a way to do it properly without cutting. You can X-Acto knife, you know, inside the bead here and kind of get it out. But then you got possibilities of cutting the bead inside the tire. You know, that becomes a problem in and of itself there. You know, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we're going to do. I don't know. I think, you know, for the $290 this thing is pretty hard to beat realistically. I mean, it's a good truck out of the box. You spend I don't even know, less than $100 on it, put wheels and a 1080 in it, you're good to go. So, you know, that's may not be everybody's answer there, but, you know, I mean, you know, it's a good truck, and it's really good out of the box. So I've got to do measurements on the drive shaft and have a boom kit available sometime soon. That motor to transmission to transfer case drive shaft is way bigger than the Gen 8 and Gen 9 one as far as length goes. So once I figure all that out, I'll put together a kit. When I get some more shafts in, I'm waiting on those to come back in stock to get more. So, you know, we'll see how this goes. This will be number 3 comp rig for me. I have the 10 Pro and then the Sendero SE, which will eventually, it's right there, will eventually become a comp truck. And then there's a 4th one in the works that I'm planning right now. So 4 comp trucks is a bit much. We'll see which one I decide to keep, or which 2 or 3 I decide to keep when I'm done with all of them. We shall see. I don't know. So, I don't know. So that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.